Under the vast expanse of a clear Egyptian sky, ancient settlements were bathed in moonlight and occasionally illuminated by distant fires or torches. The stars above twinkled with a serene beauty that has remained unchanged for millennia. The night sky over ancient Egypt was filled with constellations familiar to the Egyptians, who used them for navigation and seasonal tracking. In many towns, silhouettes of pyramids and other monumental structures could be seen in the distance, casting long shadows under the moonlight. Fires from hearths within homes and along market areas provided occasional spots of warmth against the cool desert nights. The sounds of nocturnal animals like jackals and owls would have been common, adding to the atmospheric quality of the night. The distant crackling of fires and occasional rustle of leaves or sand carried on a gentle breeze could be heard softly in the stillness. Moonlight cast an ethereal glow over the landscape, with stars twinkling in the dark expanse above. The cool air from desert nights would have brought a slight chill, possibly carrying the scent of dry earth and vegetation. Textures underfoot varied from rough stone pathways to soft sandy ground. The night was often quiet, broken only by the occasional distant call of an animal or the whispering wind through leaves. Visitors might have noticed the silhouettes of pyramids standing tall against the starlit sky, their grandeur visible even in the dark. Moonlight would have highlighted the contours and shadows of these ancient structures, creating a serene and awe-inspiring sight. The sounds of the night were gentle and soothing, with no harsh modern noises to disturb the peace. As dawn began to softly arrive on the horizon, the first light of morning would gradually illuminate the landscape once more. This transition from night to day was slow and peaceful, marking another cycle in the timeless rhythm of ancient Egyptian life. Visitors might have noticed mud brick homes standing close together in clusters, their flat roofs often used as courtyards where families would gather under the moonlight. Inside these homes, reed mats and simple wooden headrests provided modest comfort for sleep. Linen cloth draped over doorways offered some protection from the night air. Woven baskets filled with household items were common sights, alongside clay jars that held water or stored grains. Small clay oil lamps would have been placed in courtyards or near hearth embers to provide a soft glow during evening activities. The gentle crackling of these fires mingled with the sounds of nocturnal animals and the occasional rustle of leaves carried on a cool desert breeze. In towns along the Nile, the air was often cooler due to the river's influence, and the scent of water and vegetation might have been more pronounced. Wells and water jars were essential features in many homes, providing refreshment during the night. Irrigation channels nearby would have reflected moonlight, adding a silvery sheen to the landscape. Temple gates and courtyards could be seen in some settlements, their grandeur visible even under the cover of darkness. The distant silhouette of pyramids stood tall against the starlit sky, casting long shadows that stretched across the desert sands. These structures were not just architectural marvels but also symbols of the enduring presence of ancient Egyptian civilization. The night was a time for rest and reflection in ancient Egypt, with minimal disturbances from the outside world. In the quiet of ancient Egypt, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky turned to a deep indigo, people would often retire for the evening within their modest homes. The interiors were typically dimly lit by oil lamps or torches, casting soft, flickering light that danced across walls and ceilings. The simple wooden frames of beds and woven reed mattresses provided a natural surface upon which one could rest. These mats may have been placed on cool stone floors or elevated slightly to keep the sleeper above any drafts. The texture of these mats was coarse yet comfortable, offering a sense of connection to the earth beneath. Oil lamps would often be positioned near entrances or in central areas of the home, their soft crackling sound providing a gentle backdrop to the night. As the flames burned through the night, they cast shadows that moved and shifted with the wind, creating an ever-changing pattern on the walls and ceiling. This dim light was enough to guide one's way but not so bright as to disturb sleep. The walls of these homes were typically made of mud bricks or stone, offering a cool environment during hot nights. Small windows allowed for some airflow while keeping out the heat and potential intruders. The cool air that circulated within the home would often be most noticeable in rooms with small openings, providing a refreshing breeze against one's skin. Visitors might have noticed the quiet domestic interiors of these homes, where life continued at a slower pace. In many towns, the streets outside were likely to be packed earth paths or simple stone walkways, leading to modest mud brick houses that lined narrow lanes. Small oil lamps might glow near doorways or courtyards, casting soft, warm light onto the path below. As night deepened and the moon rose high in the sky, its silvery glow would filter through small windows, bathing the interior in a gentle, ethereal light. This quiet time was often punctuated by the distant sound of watchmen patrolling the streets or the occasional splash of rain on packed earth paths outside. The calm atmosphere within these homes provided an ideal setting for rest and reflection. In the early hours of dawn, as the first light began to soften the darkness, one might awaken to a new day with a sense of peace and tranquility. The cool air would still circulate through small windows, bringing with it the promise of another quiet day in ancient Egypt. The gentle breeze that entered through small windows would often carry with it the scent of the Nile, a faint yet soothing aroma that permeated the home. In many cases, these homes may have had courtyards or flat roofs where families could gather under the stars, perhaps sharing stories and watching the moon rise. Inside, woven baskets filled with linen cloth might be seen around the edges of rooms, ready to cover oneself for warmth during cooler nights. Clay jars lined up against walls contained water from nearby wells, ensuring a supply of fresh liquid close at hand. Small clay oil lamps placed near hearth embers would provide additional light and warmth without overwhelming the senses. The simple wooden headrests that were often used in place of pillows allowed sleepers to rest their heads comfortably while keeping their necks supported. Under the starlit sky of ancient Egypt, the night was a tapestry woven with sounds and silences. As darkness settled over the land, one could hear the distant calls of jackals and hyenas echoing across the desert plains. These nocturnal creatures would often be heard from afar, their cries carried by the cool evening breeze. The gentle flow of the Nile River provided a constant soundtrack to the night. Its waters moved steadily, creating a soothing rhythm that was both comforting and familiar to those who lived along its banks. The river's presence was ever present, a reminder of the life-giving force that sustained ancient Egypt through generations. Reeds along the riverbanks would often rustle softly in the evening breeze, adding another layer to the ambient soundscape. These natural materials swayed gently under the moonlight, their silhouettes casting intricate patterns against the dark sky. The soft textures of sand and reed mats used for sleeping surfaces provided a tactile connection to the earth beneath. The cool night air held a hint of moisture from nearby rivers, creating an atmosphere that was both refreshing and serene. In many towns along the Nile, visitors might have noticed the faint silhouettes of animals or plants along riverbanks, their shapes barely discernible in the moonlight. These natural elements contributed to a sense of continuity and peace. Silence was rare in ancient Egypt, even distant human activities could sometimes be heard echoing through the dark. The occasional sound of footsteps on packed earth paths, or perhaps the soft murmur of voices from a nearby settlement, would break the otherwise tranquil night. Yet these sounds were fleeting, quickly absorbed into the larger tapestry of natural noises. As dawn approached softly, the first light began to paint the sky with hues of pink and gold. The gentle transition from night to day was marked by subtle changes in the ambient sounds, as the calls of nocturnal creatures gave way to the early morning activities of those who would soon rise to greet a new day. In these quiet moments, one might also hear the faint creaking of mud brick homes as they settled under the weight of night. The walls, built to withstand the heat and humidity of the Nile Valley, would often emit a subtle sound that blended seamlessly with the surrounding ambience. Inside these modest dwellings, reed mats were laid out for sleeping surfaces, offering a soft yet firm bed upon which many Egyptians found their rest. Simple wooden headrests, shaped like small pillows, may have been placed alongside these mats to support the neck and provide comfort during sleep. Linen cloth draped over woven baskets or clay jars would often serve as makeshift curtains, blocking out any stray moonlight that might disturb a slumbering occupant. Small clay oil lamps, carefully tended to by those who needed light for evening tasks, would emit a warm glow before being extinguished and setting the scene for quiet repose. In courtyards or on flat roofs, where many Egyptians preferred to sleep due to the cooler night air, One might have heard the gentle clinking of water jars as they were filled from nearby wells. These jars, made of clay, would be carried back home and placed strategically around living spaces to provide a refreshing touch of moisture in the dry climate. In the tranquil courtyards of ancient Egyptian temples, priests would often perform nightly rituals under a full moon. These sacred spaces served as transitional zones between the temple's inner sanctums and the outside world, blending the divine with the natural environment. Statues and columns lining these courtyards frequently depicted deities or pharaohs, imbuing the space with an aura of reverence. The courtyard was a place where the sounds of nature blended seamlessly with the soft murmurs of prayers. The gentle rustle of leaves from nearby trees provided a soothing backdrop to the nightly rituals. Moonlight cast long shadows on stone statues and columns, creating an ethereal atmosphere that invited contemplation and reflection. Smooth granite pathways underfoot felt cool and polished, inviting one's feet to move slowly through the space. Priests would light oil lamps during nighttime rituals, their flickering flames adding a soft glow to the courtyard. The cool evening air carried with it a hint of desert breeze, whispering secrets from distant lands. In this serene setting, visitors might have noticed the quiet reverence that permeated every corner, as if the very stones themselves held stories waiting to be told. As night deepened and the moon reached its zenith, the courtyard became a sanctuary of calm. The soft glow of oil lamps illuminated the faces of statues and columns, casting intricate shadows on the stone surfaces. Each flicker of light seemed to dance across the ancient carvings, bringing them momentarily to life in the dim light. The air was filled with the faint scent of incense, mingling with the earthy aroma of the desert soil. Priests moved quietly through the courtyard, their voices barely audible as they recited prayers and performed rituals. The tranquil atmosphere invited visitors to pause and reflect on the sacredness of the moment, allowing the mind to drift into a state of peaceful contemplation. As dawn began to softly arrive, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold, the temple courtyard slowly transitioned from night to day. The cool evening air gave way to the warmth of the rising sun, but the serene atmosphere remained unchanged, inviting one to continue their journey through time in a state of calm reflection. As the night deepened and the moon reached its zenith, the courtyard became a sanctuary of calm. The soft glow of oil lamps illuminated the faces of statues and columns, casting intricate shadows on the stone surfaces. Each flicker of light seemed to dance across the ancient carvings, bringing them momentarily to life in the dim light. The air was filled with the faint scent of incense, mingling with the earthy aroma of the desert soil. Priests moved quietly through the courtyard, their voices barely audible as they recited prayers and performed rituals. The tranquil atmosphere invited visitors to pause and reflect on the sacredness of the moment, allowing the mind to drift into a state of peaceful contemplation. Beyond the temple walls, in the surrounding villages, families might have gathered around small hearth embers for warmth and light. Simple wooden headrests and reed mats provided basic comfort as they lay down to sleep under linen cloth covers. Clay jars filled with water from nearby wells stood ready for morning use, while woven baskets held grains and other provisions. The sounds of the Nile-side air carried through the night, a gentle reminder of the river that sustained life in ancient Egypt. The distant silhouette of irrigation channels could be seen cutting across the landscape, their waters nourishing fields under the moonlight. Temple gates stood as silent sentinels, guarding the sacred spaces within from the outside world. Visitors might have noticed the quiet reverence that permeated every corner of the courtyard, as if the very stones themselves held stories waiting to be told. The cool evening air carried whispers of distant lands and ancient tales, inviting one's thoughts to wander through time. As dawn began to softly arrive, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold, the temple courtyard slowly transitioned from night to day. In ancient Egypt, the warmth of a fire was not just for cooking but also provided essential comfort during the cooler nights. Small oil lamps were commonly used to light homes after dark, casting a gentle glow that would flicker and dance across walls and floors. These lamps, often made from clay or metal, may have been placed near beds to provide some illumination for sleepers. The soft crackling sound of burning oil in these small lamps could be heard throughout the night, mingling with the occasional rustle of fabric as people shifted in their coarse bedding materials. The light from these lamps was dim and warm, creating an intimate atmosphere that contrasted sharply with the darkness outside. Shadows would play across the walls and floors, ever changing as the flame flickered. Firelight served multiple purposes beyond just providing light. It could also help ward off insects and other nocturnal creatures that might disturb sleepers in their homes. The glow from these lamps may have been a comfort to those who felt uneasy about the darkness, offering a sense of security within the confines of their living spaces. As night fell deeper, the air would cool slightly, bringing with it a gentle breeze through open windows or gaps in walls. This cooler air might be tempered by the warmth radiating from nearby fires, creating a comfortable balance for those seeking rest. The flickering shadows cast by the lamps would often dance on the walls and floors, adding an element of movement to the otherwise still night. In many towns, visitors might have noticed that homes were designed with fire precautions in mind. Mud brick houses lined packed earth paths, their doors closed tightly at night for both privacy and safety. Simple footpaths led past courtyards, wells, and Nile-side irrigation channels, toward quiet domestic interiors where families might gather around small fires or oil lamps. Moonlight would occasionally spill through open windows, casting silhouettes of household objects and furniture on the walls. As dawn began to softly arrive, the flickering light from the lamps might become less pronounced as the first rays of sunlight crept into homes through gaps in the architecture. The transition from night to day was gentle, allowing sleepers to drift peacefully into a new morning without abrupt changes in their surroundings. The gentle crackling of oil lamps would often be accompanied by the soft rustle of reed mats and linen cloth as sleepers shifted in their beds. These simple materials, woven from local plants and fibers, offered a cool comfort under the starlit sky. In many homes, small clay oil lamps were placed near hearth embers to provide additional warmth and light for those who might wake up during the night. The flickering shadows cast by these lamps would dance across walls and floors, creating an ever-changing pattern that could be both soothing and mesmerizing. The dim glow from these lamps may have been a welcome sight for sleepers, offering a sense of security in the darkness. In some cases, small clay jars filled with oil were placed near beds to ensure a steady supply for the lamps. Beyond the confines of homes, courtyards, and flat roofs served as additional spaces where people might gather or rest during cooler nights. The air from the Nile would often drift through open windows or gaps in walls, bringing with it a cool breeze that could be refreshing after a long day. Wells and water jars were common features in these areas, providing a source of refreshment for those who needed to stay hydrated. In many towns, visitors might have noticed that mud brick homes lined packed earth paths, their doors closed tightly at night for both privacy and safety. Simple wooden headrests and woven baskets could be seen scattered around courtyards and rooftops, adding to the intimate atmosphere of these spaces. The flickering light from oil lamps would occasionally spill through open windows or gaps in walls, casting silhouettes of household objects on the walls. In ancient Egypt, the night was a time of quietude and reflection. The soft crackle of torches as they burned gently illuminated narrow streets, casting flickering shadows on the walls of mud brick houses. These watchmen, often appointed by local authorities, patrolled the settlements under the dim moonlight, their presence a reassuring constant for residents. The watchmen would often use small oil lamps or torches to navigate the streets during their rounds, providing both light and a sense of protection. The flickering flames danced across the walls, creating an ever-changing tapestry of shadows that seemed almost alive in the stillness of night. Fire was a significant concern for ancient Egyptian communities. Watchmen were likely trained to recognize early signs of fire and take swift action to prevent it from spreading. They may have had designated areas where they could gather information and coordinate responses to potential threats, ensuring that any danger was addressed promptly and quietly. The cool desert air carried with it the faint dampness from nearby Nile-side irrigation channels, a subtle reminder of the life-giving waters that sustained the land. The streets were made of packed earth, soft underfoot as one walked along them in the moonlight. Mud brick walls surrounded homes and shops, offering both privacy and protection. Temple gates stood guard over sacred spaces, their heavy wooden doors often closed at night to preserve the sanctity within. Shop fronts were shuttered, their owners having retired for the evening, leaving behind a quiet domestic scene that was only interrupted by the occasional sound of footsteps or the soft rustle of reed mats. Moonlight filtered through narrow streets, casting long shadows and illuminating silhouettes of buildings. The dim light highlighted the simple wooden doors and windows, creating an atmosphere of calm and serenity. Watchmen patrolled these areas with a watchful eye, their presence a comforting reminder that safety was being maintained. Communal areas may have served as gathering spots for watchmen to exchange information or coordinate responses to any unusual sounds they might hear during the night. These spaces were often located near key entrances to settlements, where watchmen could keep an ear out for any signs of danger while remaining close to potential trouble spots. The soft crackle of torches continued to provide a gentle rhythm in the background as watchmen moved through their rounds. The flickering flames cast ever-changing patterns on the walls and floors, adding another layer of tranquility to the night. Residents would often hear these sounds from within their homes, finding comfort in knowing that someone was watching over them. As dawn began to softly arrive, the moonlight gradually gave way to a pale sky, signaling the end of the watchman's rounds for the night. The streets slowly came back to life as people prepared to begin their day, but the quiet and reassuring presence of these guardians remained a comforting memory from the peaceful hours that had passed under the cover of darkness. The reed mats laid out on simple wooden headrests provided a comfortable resting place for many residents. These humble furnishings were often paired with linen cloth draped over them to offer some relief from the cool desert night air. Woven baskets and clay jars filled with water stood near these sleeping areas, ready to be used should anyone wake up thirsty or need a quick rinse. In courtyards and on flat roofs, families might gather around small clay oil lamps that cast a warm glow over their faces as they recounted stories from the day's events. The faint hum of distant conversations could sometimes be heard, carried softly by the breeze. These gatherings were not just for socializing but also served to keep watchful eyes open for any unusual sounds or movements. Temple courtyards would often see fewer visitors at night, with only a few dedicated individuals remaining inside to tend to sacred duties. The temple gates stood tall and imposing, their heavy wooden doors closed tightly to maintain the sanctity of the space within. As the first light of dawn breaks over ancient Egyptian landscapes, a serene stillness envelopes the early morning hours. The gradual transition from night to day is marked by subtle changes in light and sound, offering a tranquil atmosphere for reflection and rest. In many cases, ancient Egyptians would wake up as the first rays of sunlight illuminated their homes through small windows or open courtyards. Gentle light filters through reed-thatched roofs and open windows, casting long shadows on the ground. The soft chirping of birds begins to fill the air as they start their daily activities. The cool morning air can be felt against skin as one moves about their home or courtyard. Damp earth underfoot from previous night's dew provides a refreshing texture to walk upon. In many towns, Early morning was often used for personal hygiene rituals before beginning daily activities. Visitors might have noticed the quiet bustle of people tending to themselves in preparation for the day ahead. As dawn light slowly fills streets and markets, it signals a new day to those who lived in bustling cities like Thebes or Memphis. Narrow mud brick streets wind through neighborhoods, leading to temple gates that stand tall against the rising sun. Simple footpaths run beside Nile-side irrigation channels, connecting communities along the river's banks where water routes and fields are carefully maintained. The early morning silence allows individuals to connect with their surroundings in a tranquil manner. Temple gates may be seen opening as watchmen begin their rounds, ensuring safety and order for the day ahead. In courtyards, wells provide fresh water for daily needs, and the coolness of dawn offers a respite from the heat that will soon follow. As dawn arrives softly, it brings with it a sense of renewal and peace. The gradual light transforms the landscape, casting a warm glow over ancient structures and streets. This quiet time allows one to reflect on the day ahead, surrounded by the calm beauty of early morning in ancient Egypt. The gentle rustle of reed mats and simple wooden headrests may have been heard as people stirred from their sleep. Linen cloth draped over courtyards and flat roofs provided shade during the day, but now they were lifted slightly by a cool morning breeze. Woven baskets filled with clay jars stood ready to be refreshed at dawn's first light. In many homes, small clay oil lamps would often flicker softly as embers from hearths slowly died down. The smell of burning herbs may have lingered in the air, providing both fragrance and protection against insects. As individuals moved about their courtyards or flat roofs, they might have paused to take a deep breath of the fresh Nile-side air. Visitors might have noticed women drawing water from wells using long ropes and buckets made of woven reeds. The sound of dripping water jars filled with cool morning dew could be heard as people prepared for their day's activities. Along irrigation channels that wound through fields, farmers would often begin their work early to take advantage of the cooler temperatures before the sun reached its peak. Temple gates may have opened quietly, allowing priests and worshippers to enter the sacred courtyards where rituals were performed under the watchful eyes of towering statues. The distant silhouettes of temple spires against the rising sun created a serene backdrop for those beginning their day's journey. In many towns, children might have been seen playing in open spaces or along narrow streets, their laughter blending with the morning sounds. As dawn light slowly filled the markets and streets, it brought a sense of renewal to all who lived there. The gradual light transformed the landscape, casting a warm glow over ancient structures and streets. The coolness of dawn offered a respite from the heat that would soon follow, allowing individuals to connect with their surroundings in a tranquil manner. This quiet time allowed one to reflect on the day ahead, surrounded by the calm beauty of early morning in ancient Egypt. As the first light of dawn begins to break over ancient Egyptian streets, a quiet calm settles upon the community. The air is cool and fresh, carrying the scent of reeds and distant water as people stir from their sleep to start another day. In many cases, early risers would have begun their workday by tending to household chores or preparing meals using simple cooking tools. The soft rustling of reeds can be heard along with light footsteps on cobblestone streets. Dim sunlight filters through narrow alleyways, casting long shadows from the few early risers as they move about. The cool morning air against skin is a gentle reminder that it's time to wake up and start moving about their homes. The crispness of the atmosphere gradually warms with the rising sun, bringing a sense of renewal and activity to the streets. People may have walked along narrow streets lined with mud brick houses, often greeting neighbors and exchanging brief pleasantries as they made their way through the community. The sounds of water being drawn from wells, jars, or Nile-side irrigation channels would likely be heard throughout the morning hours, essential for daily activities. Temple gates might open early to allow worshippers to begin their day with prayers and offerings. Inside these temples, the quiet murmur of chants and rituals may have filled the air as people sought spiritual guidance and blessings for the day ahead. As dawn fully arrives, the streets slowly come alive with the sounds of daily life. The soft rustling of reeds continues, accompanied by the gentle clinking of pots and pans as meals are prepared in household kitchens. Light footsteps on cobblestone streets carry a sense of familiarity and routine, as neighbors greet each other with nods or brief exchanges. The cool morning air gradually gives way to a comfortable warmth as the sun rises higher into the sky. The dim sunlight now casts clearer shadows, illuminating the narrow alleyways and courtyards where people go about their tasks. In many towns, visitors might have noticed the quiet domestic interiors of mud brick houses, with simple furnishings and minimal decorations. The sounds of water being drawn from wells or irrigation channels continue to be a soothing backdrop to the morning routine. The gentle splash of water into jars and vessels creates a soft rhythm that blends seamlessly with the other sounds of daily life. As people begin their day, they may have taken moments to pause in quiet reflection, perhaps sitting on low benches or cushions within their homes. The coolness of the early morning air against skin is gradually replaced by a comfortable warmth as the sun rises higher into the sky. In this calm and atmospheric setting, the gentle sounds of daily life blend together, creating a peaceful backdrop for another day to unfold. As the sun climbs higher into the sky, the early risers continue their tasks with a sense of purpose and familiarity. Inside mud brick homes, reed mats are carefully rolled up to make space for the day's activities. Simple wooden headrests lie beside them, used throughout the night to support sleep. The coolness of linen cloth is felt against skin as people tend to household chores or prepare meals in small kitchens. Woven baskets and clay jars filled with grains and other provisions are common sights within these homes. Small clay oil lamps may have been lit earlier for those who rose before dawn, casting a warm glow over the hearth embers that still smolder from last night's fire. Courtyards and flat roofs of houses offer quiet spaces where people can pause and reflect in the morning light. The air carries the scent of water from nearby wells or irrigation channels, essential not only for drinking but also for daily hygiene rituals. People may have drawn water into clay jars using simple tools like leather buckets on ropes. In some towns, visitors might have noticed the quiet domestic interiors, where life continues at a steady pace.